in and 3 foot off the ground. That was the Ozzy Osbourne image.
But the classic Ozzy Osbourne image would eventually interfere with the actual man, who would need to figure out how to keep John and Ozzy separate.
But the thing that I think that's held me together most of all is the fact that I haven't let Ozzy Osbourne overtake John Osbourne, which is John Osbourne talking to you now. You know, it's like, you know, it's guys like that. I'd be walking around with fangs hanging upside down off the rafters all day long, you know. It's just a role that I play, and I get a lot of fun, and the most thing I enjoy is giving people pleasure and fun out of seeing some guy, because I think there's a little bit of Ozzy and a lot of people that want to see me.
In the meantime, Black Sabbath was projecting a dark and sinister image, and that got people talking. A lot.
Early on in the whole, like, metal thing, it was like Ozzy was born of the devil, and that's how they made their way in the world. Black Sabbath, you know, message from the devil, and kids bought into it.
There wasn't that much satanic stuff. And what there was, it wasn't exactly for the devil or anything like that.
When we first formed Black Sabbath, we didn't really think that it was a real thing that people actually worship the devil. Actual cult societies were sending us letters to play at the Black Mass, and we like freaked out. Like, you know, what have we done? You know.
Black Sabbath, their image and music struck a nerve with youth around the world who were hungry for a band that wouldn't compromise. Their massive second album, Paranoid, shot to #1 in the UK, claimed the US top 10 for over a year, sold 4 million copies, and is considered the album that defined the sound and style of heavy metal. And with that, Sabbath was launched. But while their momentum picked up speed through the 70s, one member was headed for the end of the road.
I lost my father. My band fired me. My first wife threw me out, divorced me.
That's when the story of Ozzy Osbourne continues. At the dawn of the 1970s, Black Sabbath was dominating rock, with 5 top 10 albums all selling in the millions. But by 1975, there was trouble in the Sabbath camp. Managerial problems and creative differences magnified. Album sales slowed, and by 1979, Ozzy Osbourne was out of the band.
But at the time, he just wasn't into what we were doing. We wanted to go on, the 3 of us wanted to do it, and Ozzy just wasn't into it. You know, he was getting more and more drunk.
I didn't leave Sabbath. I fired my butt. It was kind of like a pot calling a kettle black. I mean, it was like 3 drums telling a guy that was stoned he's too out of control. And oh yeah, I see that one. You know, I'm taking too much drugs and booze. But you take your Quaaludes and you'll be all right. You take your bag of coke and you'll be all right, and the booze.
Black Sabbath had to prove they could be successful without Ozzy. They moved on through the 80s with a revolving door of singers, starting with Ronnie James Dio. And Ozzy, well, he hit rock bottom.
I lost my father. My band fired me. My first wife threw me out and divorced me.
He was also diagnosed as bipolar, fell into a deep depression, and became a virtual recluse with drugs and alcohol as his primary companions.
If I close my eyes forever, will it all remain the same?
But a chance meeting with his then manager's daughter turned Ozzy's life around.
I mean, behind every great man is a great woman, they say. I think I've got one.
Sharon Arden convinced Ozzy to pull himself together and start making music again.
He was in a hotel room killing himself with drugs and alcohol, and she came in and saved him. And there was something magical about that combination of energy between those two people. He couldn't do it himself.
She took over as his manager, and before long, they were married.
We were working together first, but how it all evolved, because we were spending so much time together and one thing led to another.
This is my second go, you know. My first go was a dismal failure. I wasn't an abusive husband to my first wife. My father was abusive to my mother. And I just thought that's what you do, you know. You carried on the same, and then I met Sharon. She said, everything I do now, I'll have your ass in jail. And she did when I tried it.
You don't want to piss her off, put it that way. You know? I've seen people don't piss her off. She can drop the hammer.
She does her best to keep Ozzy on the straight and narrow, and Ozzy goes off the path and on the path and off the path. So what she doesn't need is us to influence him, because he's already, you know, has his demons. By 1980, Ozzy Osbourne was picking up the pieces of his life and career.
At least now I'm in the driver's seat, whereas when I was with Black Sabbath, I was just a member of a band where, you know, now I can make decisions and I can put a bit of excitement into my life.
He got a new band together, featuring an incredibly gifted young guitar player named Randy Rhoads. Ozzy's solo debut, Blizzard of Ozz, came out stateside in 1981. The single Crazy Train peaked at number 9, becoming a classic rock track, and arguably Ozzy's most recognizable song. This metal masterpiece proved Ozzy Osbourne was a star.
When he was asked to leave Black Sabbath, he went on to far greater things anyway, in the material sense, in popularity and record sales, performance. I mean, he kicked ass.